Families of the three girls missing in Taadi are demanding an independent forensic analysis of human remains retrieved by the police from a cesspit in the suburb of Kansawurodo. A team of experts from the police CID retrieved the bones from a cesspit inside the rented home of the suspect Samuel Odotek Wills, who's being held in connection with the crime. According to the police, DNA from the bones will be compared to samples from families of the girls to establish if the remains are those of the victims. The families say they will not cooperate with the police, adding they doubt the police will carry out a genuine examination. Father of one of the missing girls, Priscilla Mantebia Cranche, spoke to my colleague, Kojo Jansen.
After pondering over the whole issue, I've come to realize that I don't believe in whatever has happened, that my daughter is dead, and that the skeleton bones found in that manhole or a cesspit can be that of my daughter. One, the reason being no less a person than the Interior Minister, the Gender Minister, Mr. Brian Achampong. I don't know his status.
Minister of State in charge of security, national security.
Yes. And then Madam Tiwa, they all have confirmed to us that the girls are alive and they are in safe hands, that they are doing all that they could to go and retrieve them. So for them to turn around just some few moments to come and tell us that they have found some coughs, some bones in a certain manhole, we don't believe it. When the girls die, did the suspect kill them before he was captured and sent to jail? And if it happened before he was arrested, how come they were able to tell the nation that the girls are alive? So I don't believe whatever is going on. So I cannot avail myself to that DNA test they are going to do. This is my decision.
So from what you're saying, Samuel Wills was arrested on the 22nd of December. Your daughter disappeared the day before, the 21st. So you're saying that you don't believe he had enough time to kill your daughter before he was arrested?
Yes, I don't believe, because even 31st, when he broke jail, he managed to call me and told me that they don't kill kidnap victims. All that they need is money. So he confirmed to, not I alone, about 3 of us, that including my two young boys, that the girl is alive, and that for security reasons he cannot allow us to talk to her that time. You see, and from that time onwards, we've been hearing that the girls are alive, the girls are alive. So all this while, were they deceiving us? And if they were deceiving us, how true is this test going to be? You see, I don't have confidence in that test. That is why I say I won't avail myself, because from onset, the police and the BNI or security agencies, including ministers, they have been deceiving us. So if even this test is conducted, I don't believe they will tell us the truth.
Well, security analyst Adam Bonner says the family should allow the police to handle the matter.
The police must be allowed what is suspected of, a criminal investigation such as this. I'm not sure, even in the U.S., these things happen, in Britain, these things happen all over the world. It happens. And so, I tend to, share in the pain of the family, but that notwithstanding, if we say the police shouldn't do it, international, that would not be the right way to go. So I think they would have to tone down and allow the police to do what is needful. If the police do what is expected and they think that they don't accept it, these things are allowed. They would be, they can go ahead and get other forensic, laboratories to run checks to see whether it is true, the findings are true or the findings are not true. I think the states, all of us will require them to allow the police to take samples from them so that we can bring closure to this. If it is not the young girls, we know. If it is the young girls, we know. So we know where we are as a country when it comes to this 3 girls who are missing. But let's remember that the subsequent to subsequent to this particular one, all other kidnapping or missing persons case have been resolved. And so this particular one, this painful one, probably took all of us as a country off guard. We all of us weren't expecting such a thing to happen until somewhere last year when they went on a demonstration in Taadi, when the states and Joy, your multimedia and all the other networks got involved. It took all of us off guard, and it looks like the police, I don't speak for them, but from my interaction with them, these are not the normal conventional crimes they deal with, and so literally they underestimated it. But let me be quick to put it out there that usually in other international jurisdictions, when you go to a police station or a police facility and you report of a missing person, the response that you usually get is that they will collect some information from you. And sometimes they want to know, or they will tell you the person will come. If after some time the person has not come back, let us know so we can follow up. And so these things are usually the norm, but we have to be careful not to begin to apportion blames here and there. I am hoping, I'm one of the people hoping that this remains that the retrieve won't be that of the missing girls. And also, let me put it out there that I think I'm told, Intel tells me somebody, another suspect has been arrested in a neighboring country. And so this issue is still evolving, and so we've got to be able to bring it somehow to a close.
Meanwhile, convener for the Concerned Mothers Association, Josephine Amu, says they are skeptical about the revelations made by the police.
All along, we were thinking that since the police are doing the investigation, we will get a positive result out of the investigation. So when 2 days ago we heard that they have discovered some body parts here, and they are assuming that it is the missing girls. In fact, I felt very, very bad, very, very, very bad.
Now, the police have met with the family members, and they have told the family members to be patient because until they do the DNA test, we don't know who those bodies belong to. Does that make you feel any better?
Oh, I don't feel better still, because even yesterday I was with one of the family members when the regional commander and his troop of policemen, about 40 of them, came to the father. And they came just to officially mention to the family the operation that they have done. According to the regional commander, he said the IGP sent them to the families to officially tell them what they have done so far. But looking at what is going on, for me and for we, the concerned mothers, we think, maybe I don't even know what to say. We think the police has not been able to do the best. They have not done professional work, because why I'm saying that is that this issue started, I think, a year ago. August is 1 year when the first girl got missing. And they have been doing a search, they have been searching, they have been going around searching, investigating. And they keep on telling us that they are still doing something about it. You heard what Mami Tiwa, the CID boss, said that they know where the girls are. Also, that is why I personally doubt what they have seen here. She said they know where the missing girls are, and very soon they will just relocate them for them to reunite with their families. She came again to say that what she said that just to give hope to their families. And to give hope, in fact, what she said even rather dashed the little hope the families had. You see, and it has worsened the pain that the families are feeling. So you come down, you come to tell us that now you have found some bodies and you think that they have to do some forensic laboratory before they can even say whether it is the missing girls or what. In fact, for me, I doubt it.
Now, the Western Regional Minister, Kwabena Daku, says all the support needed will be given to find the girls. He interacted with Kojo Jansen.
I wonder how the news hit you as the head of the Regional Security Council when the information came out that this evidence had been uncovered.
We're all shocked because naturally we're all expecting to send the children back to their parents. So we're very shocked. In fact, I was in Accra, but I had to rush back quickly to Takrady yesterday to get a briefing from my police people and the BNI. And as far as I'm concerned, what they've seen just pass. And therefore, I believe that everybody should be cautious and should calm down so that we await the final investigation. Then we can look at it. In fact, when the president was here just about 2 weeks ago, this issue was one of the major issues that we discussed when he came. In fact, he even made a statement on it when we were in Axim, because that was our first program in the morning. So I believe that is something that government is very concerned about. More so when everybody knows that the Takrady area for a very long time has been a very peaceful area. Western region holds the natural resources of this country, more than 50% comes from here. So as administrators, we always want to see this place being quiet and safe for everybody. And therefore, we want to make sure that we come to a proper conclusion so that everybody will be happy about what the investigation has gone so far.
Now, the statement that came out last night from RegSec was focusing particularly on calling for calm in the community. Tell me why the Security Coordinating Council felt the need for such a statement.
Basically, this is a very sensitive issue, not only for Takrady, everywhere in this country. After this issue, we've had the Kumasi one, we've had even one in the market circle that the police had been able to uncover and recover those for their appearance. And therefore, this particular one, which actually started the national, more like a campaign, is something that's very sensitive, and we want to make sure that there's calm before and after, because whoever perpetrated it differently would have to be dealt with the full rigors of the law. And you know that so far the police have been able to arrest 3 people. And for me, I believe that that's the mandate we're giving them to do. But since it's not a finality to the whole issue, we need to be circumspect in everything that we do concerning this issue. Because I believe that there will be no purpose if we've not concluded it and there are reprisal attacks for even more people to die than what would we have achieved as a human race. Okay, so I believe that we need to be careful. Because if you even look at some of the people who have been arrested, it's not only Ghanaians that have been arrested. If you are not careful and we take the law into our own hands, you might also end up also being charged again for taking the law into your own hands. And therefore, I strongly believe that we want this place to be safe for investment, safe for learning, safe for playing. And therefore, we should allow the law to take its own course. Whoever perpetrated, naturally, the law is there to deal with that person. And therefore, there's no point for us to take the law to our own hands. And we have to give that experience in this region as a safe region. And therefore, there was a need to put in that. And also to calm the parents, to let the parents know that we are with them. We've been with them from the beginning of the problem till now. And we are prepared to go the long haul with them and want them to have patience with government and then by extension to the police to make sure they do their work and do it fully for the good people of this country.
Is this, you mentioned one of the reasons for the statement is to make sure that there are no reprisal attacks. Is that a real concern of the RegSec? Do you have some intelligence to suggest that that is a threat that is imminent?
Oh, I mean, if you go to the internet, you see how people do. If you listen to people on radio, how they respond to this particular issue. Naturally, we are also human beings, and therefore, the RegSec and the administration always see this sensitivity, and it's very important that we calm them and give them that confidence that we are there for them for the long haul.
Now, you talked about how you want to reassure the families that you are there for them. When we spoke to the family members, some of them, especially the Quaysons, much as they welcomed the briefing from the police, they were also not very happy with the performance of the police throughout this period. I don't know what is RegSec's view of how this investigation has panned out from all the way back in August last year till now.
I believe that right from the beginning, looking at the date that these issues were reported and the family's own input, they've consistently said that the police didn't act quickly on the issues. And therefore, naturally, they have a reason to doubt maybe the police procedures. But state institutions and the law grind slowly. So sometimes, if you've not been dealing with it for a very long time as a normal Ghanaian, I mean, a lot of Ghanaians don't even go to the court and go to police station. So when these things happen, they always hold them in high esteem. So they have an encounter with them, and then sometimes they feel that the process is slow. And I'll give you one typical example. Somebody stole government land, and the matter was sent to court. As I speak to you, we've not gone to court to start the real case. We are still talking about technicalities, more than 3 years or 4 years. So naturally, that happened to me as an MP, a public official. It's taking me 4 years. This is how sometimes the system runs like. So all that I can ask of them is patience, so that the process can come to a certain conclusion. Then we can all be satisfied that this is what has happened, this is the answer, and then we'll look for a way out going forward. So I believe that the only request is that they should be patient for the police to do their work, because this is something that has caught the attention of national institutions. I mean, from Takrady all the way to Accra, even international, Interpol and all that. So I believe that alone should assure them that government is keenly following the matter and will make sure the right things are done.
I mean, you gave an interesting example of your own, struggles with the system. Is that not rather more of a supporting statement that the system is broken?
No, not at all. What we are saying that the law grinds slowly. It happens. It happens once.
In some cases, though, it's pretty fast. For example, when they were looking for the kidnapped Canadians, the law moved fast.
Before the kidnapped Canadians, there was also kidnapping in my constituency, Takrady constituency. Within 2 days, they had arrested the person. Yeah, so it depends on how quick the information got to the police and then how they responded. That's why I'm saying that if you have not dealt with a state institution before, sometimes you have this problem. Now, I gave a typical example of mine to show what it is. Okay, so these are the issues that we need to appreciate. But for this one, everybody in Ghana now knows that this has caught the attention of the president himself, attention of the national security minister, and everybody. And therefore, this is not something that, and it's something that has even got into cabinet. So this is not an issue that nobody's following. Just that when it's an investigation, sometimes it takes time. I mean, typical investigations sometimes takes time, especially when the crime had been committed for some time before the police got into it. So I believe that is the way we should be looking at.
So how has the police explained this to RegSec? What has caused this investigation to take time?
When I start answering the questions like this, then we'll be bringing back all the problems we've had with this particular issue. So I'll be happy not to go there.
That is fine. Let me ask you about this. This is since the arrest of the suspect. This is the first time that the police has done this sort of search at his premises. What is it that, I mean, what in what the police have told RegSec, what is it that brought about the need for a search on this occasion in his home?
I strongly believe that the police did some work before the gentleman himself was arrested. The police did some work before the guy actually pointed out to the second accused person. The police did some work before this third guy was arrested around Togo or something. So naturally, some work has gone in. And therefore, it's out of this same work that they have to go to this premises and search the way they came to search. Because the first time, they were actually looking for live people. The search naturally will be different. If you are looking for a live person, you'll not be going into. But now, they've searched, put a lot of pressure on the guy to tell them a lot of things, for them to get at least 3 people who are supposed to be the main kingpins of the whole game. So naturally, new information has to be deduced. You cannot be giving the police old stories that you have given to them, that even they have even communicated system that has created problems for the communication wing of the police itself. So naturally, I believe that is part of the work they are doing. I believe that now that they've come to do this search and found some body part, let's give the police space to do the DNA and tell us whether it is what it is or it is not. Then we can move on. Because what I'm thinking in my head is that, so if it's not the children, it means that they've killed more people than we are taught. And that's very, very, very dangerous. So I strongly do believe that police is a professional institution. It's Ghanaian made. We should be able to allow them to succeed. And that is why I'm not going on that tangent of just blaming them. Yes, we might have our own difficulties with the police, but I believe that the best will definitely come out of them after this investigation.
That was Western Regional Minister Kwabena Okyere-Darko explaining that the police is still at its job. But the police in the last few hours have just released a statement on this issue, and I'll read portions of that statement. It says police discovered human remains at Kasawurodo in Takrade as a result of ongoing efforts at examining several angles of the investigation. Claims that a confession or trip-off led to the discovery are untrue. On Saturday, August 3, 2019, police held discussions with families. Families are cooperating with the police in this endeavor. The police assures of covering all other angles of the investigation, while it expects it to conclude the DNA test within the next 4 weeks. And that's the statement coming from the police.